The Labyrinth. Part 1. The Forbidden Bonfire. Graffiti Park loomed over the city like a forgotten relic of past times. Its walls, once vibrant with colors that told stories of rebellion and expression, now faded under the relentless assault of time and weather. For the residents of the city, it was a place both revered and feared, a sanctuary for street artists and a labyrinth of mysteries for those who dared to venture too close. Among the curious souls drawn to its allure were a group of friends. Maya, an adventurous spirit with a penchant for exploring forbidden places. James, her loyal companion, whose quiet demeanor belied a fierce loyalty. Lily, the free spirit who saw beauty in every corner of the world. And Mark, the skeptic whose logical mind often clashed with Maya's adventurous schemes. It was a crisp autumn evening that their lives intersected with the legends of Graffiti Park. The air was thick with the scent of fallen leaves and anticipation as they gathered on the outskirts of the park, their voices hushed with excitement. "We shouldn't be doing this," Mark muttered, eyeing the graffiti-covered walls warily. "Oh, come on, Mark," Maya retorted with a grin. "Where's your sense of adventure?" James nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed on Lily, who was busy arranging logs for the bonfire they planned to ignite. "It'll be fine," he assured Mark, though his own unease simmered beneath the surface. Lily glanced up, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It's just a little fire. Besides, who's going to know?" Mark sighed, knowing he couldn't dissuade them once their minds were set. "Fine, but if we get caught, we won't," Maya interrupted, her voice filled with conviction. "Now let's get this fire started before it gets too dark." With that, they set to work, lighting the logs with matches stolen from James's father's shed. The flames danced in the gathering dusk, casting flickering shadows that stretched across the graffiti-covered walls. As they sat around the bonfire, laughter and conversation flowed freely. They shared stories of their childhoods, dreams for the future, and fears that lingered in the corners of their minds. For a brief moment, Graffiti Park felt like their own private sanctuary, a place untouched by the rules and restrictions of the city beyond. But as the night wore on and the flames burned low, a sense of unease settled over the group. The air grew heavy with silence, broken only by the crackling of embers and the distant hum of the city beyond. "We should head home," Mark suggested, glancing at his watch. "It's getting late." Lily nodded in agreement, though reluctance tinged her voice. "Yeah, we probably should." James stood, brushing leaves from his jeans. "Let's clean up and get out of here." As they extinguished the last of the embers and gathered their belongings, a sudden chill swept through Graffiti Park. The walls seemed to close in around them, their vibrant colors dimming under the veil of night. Maya shivered, wrapping her arms around herself. "Do you guys feel that?" James frowned, his senses on high alert. "Feel what?" Before anyone could respond, a low rumble echoed through the park, vibrating beneath their feet. The ground trembled as if awakening from a long slumber, sending shockwaves of fear through the group. "What's happening?" Lily cried out, her voice tinged with panic. Mark grabbed Maya's hand, his expression grim. "We need to go, now!" But as they turned to leave, they found themselves surrounded by an invisible force, an energy that pulsed with ancient power. The walls of Graffiti Park seemed to come alive, twisting and shifting as if guided by unseen hands. And then, with a deafening roar, the ground beneath them opened up, a gaping maw of darkness that threatened to swallow them whole. Part 2. The Echoes. When Maya opened her eyes, she found herself standing in a place that defied comprehension. The air was thick with the scent of earth and decay, the ground beneath her feet cold and damp. She glanced around, her heart pounding in her chest, but saw nothing but darkness stretching into infinity. "Guys!" she called out, her voice trembling with fear. There was no response, only the echo of her own voice bouncing off unseen walls. Panic surged through Maya as she realized she was alone, trapped in a place that seemed to exist outside of time and space. "James? Lily? Mark?" She called out again, her voice growing more desperate with each name. And then, as if in answer to her plea, a faint light flickered in the distance. Maya hesitated for a moment, her instincts urging her to stay put, but fear and desperation drove her forward. She walked toward the light, her footsteps echoing in the darkness. As she drew closer, the light grew brighter, revealing a corridor lined with ancient symbols and glyphs. They glowed with a faint luminescence, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Maya's heart raced as she followed the corridor, each step bringing her closer to the source of the light. And then, at the end of the corridor, she found them. James, Lily, and Mark, standing together in a small chamber illuminated by a single torch. "Maya!" James exclaimed, relief flooding his voice. "You're okay!" Maya rushed toward them, her eyes wide with disbelief. What is this place?" Mark shook his head, his expression haunted. "I don't know. One minute we were in Graffiti Park, and the next..." Lily clutched James' hand tightly, her voice trembling. "It was like the ground swallowed us whole." They fell silent, each grappling with the reality of their situation. They were no longer in Graffiti Park, no longer in the world they knew. They were somewhere else, somewhere ancient and unfathomable. As they stood together in the chamber, uncertainty weighed heavily on their minds. How had they ended up here? And more importantly, how would they find their way back? "We need to find a way out," Maya said finally, breaking the silence that had settled over them. James nodded in agreement, his gaze sweeping the chamber. "There must be a way. We just have to keep moving." With that, they set off deeper into the labyrinthine corridors of the ancient place. The walls seemed to pulse with a strange energy, guiding them forward with an unseen force. They passed through the chambers adorned with relics of a long-forgotten civilization, statues, carvings, and artifacts that spoke of a rich and mysterious history. Hours turned into days as they wandered through the labyrinth, their footsteps echoing in the silence. They encountered no other signs of life, no clue as to where or when they were. Time seemed to lose all meaning in the timeless depths of the labyrinth. But just as hope began to wane, they stumbled upon a chamber unlike any they had seen before. It was vast and cavernous, its walls adorned with murals that depicted scenes of ancient rituals and ceremonies. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal upon which rested a glowing orb of light. "What is that?" Lily whispered, her voice barely audible in the stillness. Mark approached the pedestal cautiously, his eyes fixed on the pulsating orb. "I don't know, but it feels important." James joined him, his brow furrowed with curiosity. "Do you think it could be a way out?" Maya hesitated, her instincts urging caution. "I'm not sure we should touch it. We don't know what it is or what it does." But as they debated their next move, a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice that seemed to emanate from the orb itself. "Welcome, travelers," the voice said, the Irish tone resonating with ancient wisdom. "Ye have entered the realm of echoes, where past and present converge." The group exchanged bewildered glances, unsure of how to respond. "Who are you?" Maya asked finally, her voice steady despite her fear. "I am the guardian of this place," the voice replied. "I am here to guide ye, to help you find your way home." Relief washed over them as they realized they were not alone in this strange and ancient realm. "Can you help us?" James asked, his voice filled with hope. The orb pulsed with light, casting shadows that danced on the walls. "There is a way," the voice said solemnly. "But first, ye must understand the truth of this place." And so, over the days that followed, the guardian of the herb revealed the secrets of the labyrinth. They learned of an ancient civilization that had once thrived in the heart of Graffiti Park, a civilization that had worshipped the land and its mysterious powers. But as the centuries passed, the civilizations faded into legend, its secrets lost to time. The labyrinth became a forgotten tomb, a relic of a forgotten era buried beneath the modern city. And yet, the power of the labyrinth endured, a force that drew in those who dared to defy its ancient laws. The bonfire they had ignited in Graffiti Park had awakened the guardians of the Labyrinth, triggering a chain of events that had led them into its depths. "Now ye must make a choice," the guardian said, its voice echoing through the chamber. "You can remain here, forever bound to the echoes of the past, or ye can find the path that leads you back to your world." The group exchanged solemn glances, each grappling with the weight of the guardian's words. They had come so far, faced unimaginable dangers, and unearthed truths that defied comprehension. But now, they stood at the precipice of a choice that would determine their fate. "We have to go back," Maya said finally, her voice filled with determination. "We can't stay here forever." James nodded in agreement, his hand reaching for Lily's. "We'll find a way out. Together." Mark hesitated for a moment, his gaze fixed on the orb. "What if we can't find the path back?" The guardian's voice was gentle yet firm. "Trust in yourselves and in each other. The path will reveal itself to those who seek it. But once ye leave, ye must never return nor speak of what ye have learned. If ye violate that, ye will face consequences unspeakable." The group made a pact to never divulge the knowledge of the Labyrinth. And so, with newfound resolve, they approached the orb. Its light enveloped them, filling their minds with visions of the world, the city they called home, the friends and family they had left behind, and the lives they longed to return to. And then, with a final surge of light, the orb transported them back to Graffiti Park. The walls stood silent and still, the night air cool against their skin. They were home, yet forever changed by their journey. As they stood beneath the fading stars, they knew that their adventure was far from over. They had faced the echoes of Graffiti Park and emerged stronger, bound together by a bond forged in the depths of the Labyrinth. And as they walked away from the park, their footsteps echoing in silence, they knew that they carried with them the echoes of their journey, a testament to the power of friendship, courage, and enduring the mysteries of Graffiti Park. For additional reading about Graffiti Park, please see the story description. And as always, please be sure to like and subscribe for more awesome stories.